We are near the end of our tour. Just a few more days left to be spent on the southeast coast of India. Our day begins with a flight from Bangalore to Chennai. After arrival in Chennai, we drive south to Pondicherry. It's about a 3-hour drive. Along the way, we stop at Kanchipuram to visit the Kailasanathar temple that was built in the 7th century. We arrive in Pondicherry in the late afternoon. Our hotel is the Maison Perumal. The hotel is centrally located within the town. The hotel was very quaint, with restaurant and homely touches. Again, our room was well appointed with all the necessities. The next day, we went for a guided tour of the town of Pondicherry. Our first stop was the Arulmigu Manakula Vinayagar Devasthanam, a Hindu temple dedicated to the god Ganesha. It is a popular pilgrimage site and tourist destination in Pondicherry. As we continued our walk towards the seaside, we passed the French consulate building, the Barathire statue, and the governor's residence. Soon we were at the seaside. Unfortunately, a cyclone was just south of Pondicherry, so the sea was rough and the weather very dull. Pondicherry offers a slice of France in South India. Once a sleepy fishing village, the trading town was a French settlement since the 17th century until the Indian independence. Along the promenade was the Mahatma Gandhi statue. The statue is made of bronze and is surrounded by granite pillars. It honors the great Indian leader. Complementing the statue is the tribute wall honoring India's independence movement. Today, the city bears several traces of its French colonial influence, from the lovely promenade and street signs on narrow cobbled lanes to the colonial buildings of the Old Town and French schools. We continued on our walking tour. Eventually, we made our way past French-inspired cafes and restaurants. We arrive at Baker Street, which is a concept store that offers traditional French pastries and desserts. We had to sample some of their treats. After Baker Street, we visited the local market. The local market offered just about everything from fresh vegetables, house products, flowers, and clothing. Here we see a garland being made from Indian rupee notes. We ended our walk with lunch, then back to the hotel for some filtered coffee to end our day out.
Look at that. Look at the height. Thank you.
The next day, we leave Pondicherry for a 2-hour drive to Mamallapuram. Mamallapuram is home to some of the most ancient and exquisite collection of temples, caves, rathas, and monuments. Our first stop was the 5 rathas, or Pancharathas. These 5 monolithic temples, each carved from a single rock, are unique in their architectural style and the fact that they are not dedicated to any deity. Instead, they are named after the 5 Pandavas from the Mahabharata. Next was the Shore Temple. The Shore Temple is believed to be built during the reign of the old Pallavan king Rajasimha and is one of the oldest temples of significance in South India. Built of cut stones and blocks of granite, the temple reflects the true essence of Dravidian architecture. The Shore Temple complex was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site along with other temples and monuments of Mamallapuram. We drove a short distance to the Panchapandava Cave Temple, which is an example of Indian rock-cut architecture dating from the late 7th century. Adjacent to the cave temple is another giant rock carving known locally as Arjuna's Penance, a gigantic 7th century relief carving depicting the legend of the holy river Ganges. This massive open-air relief is one of the largest in the world, depicting the descent of the Ganges River to earth, as well as Arjuna's Penance. The sheer scale and detail of the carvings make it a unique attraction. Lastly, we visited a natural wonder known as Krishna's Butterball. However, it has no religious significance. This giant granite boulder perched on a slope seems to defy the laws of gravity, making it an intriguing natural wonder. Known locally as Bonarai Kalb or Stone of Sky God, it has become a symbol of Mamallapuram's mysteries. Our time in the Mamallapuram ends with a tour of our room in our hotel for the night.
This is AC. So wardrobe and wet machine, the iron wow. And then inside the
side, yes. That's excellent. Far out. Yeah, I'm hoping the cyclone doesn't cancel the flight. That's the only problem.
We have now come to the end of our journey through southern India. Our final travel day started with torrential rain at our hotel.
Welcome to Chennai.
We enjoyed a great breakfast and said goodbye to the hotel staff that took such good care of us. The cyclone that had caused the bad weather in Pondicherry had caught up with us. We arrived at Chennai airport only to find that all flights were cancelled.
Cyclone has cancelled all flights till 9:30 tonight.
We then got back in our car and drove to Bangalore to try and catch an alternate flight out. The weather conditions were very bad. Together with the traffic and poor roads, it was always going to be a big challenge to try and make our flight. The drive took over 8 hours. Despite the heroic efforts of our driver Ramesh, we missed our flight out due to the horrendous traffic in Bangalore. That meant we had to find a hotel for the night and book alternate flights for the next day. Well, it was a big inconvenience and expense, but at least it happened at the end of our trip and not during. A crazy end to a most fantastic tour of South India. One we'll never forget.